Hey guys, so today we are going to be comparing and contrasting students' free speech, which is really what we focused on so far this week. Student free speech in school versus teachers' free speech in school. So I'm going to summarize teachers' First Amendment rights. We'll look at some specific examples in the Kahoot, and that information will help you with your comparison. Your current event report this week is due Monday the 17th, and we only have 19 more school days left until the end of the term. So here's a summarization of freedom of speech for teachers. Remember, for students, those two Supreme Court cases really set the precedent, and they said that, yes, students are allowed to protest as long as it doesn't disrupt learning, and that students are not allowed to use indecent language, like a school can limit your freedom of speech if it's considered indecent in school. Teachers, because they're in public employees and they work for the government, they have more limited freedom of speech than privately employed people. If you're speaking as a private citizen and you're a teacher on in a matter of public concern, then you're fully protected. So like if the teacher, when they're not working, like after work, they decided that they were going to go to like a rally or protest or anything like that, they are allowed to do that. If the teacher is speaking as part of their job, so they're instructing, they're in the classroom, they're at school, their speech will not always have the same protection. And that's because, remember, they're being public employees. They're seen as a representation of the school district. Outside speech may also not be protected if it is deemed to have a negative impact on in-school functioning and learning. So if the teacher posted something outside of school on Facebook and it was like crazy disruptive once the students found it, then it might not be protected and the teacher could get in trouble. So kind of similar to students in that sense, that the outside speech may not always be protected. If, as I was going through that, it seemed really confusing and it seemed really vague, like there was like a lot of what if scenarios that popped into your head, it is super confusing and vague. And it usually depends on the school district on the very specific rules for freedom of speech for their teachers. Usually, as long as the controversial topic is related to the curriculum, it's allowed. Usually, as long as teachers are not appearing to advocate for or against a particular religious view or political view, it is allowed. So using those rules of thumb and the information I presented so far, the Kahoot is going to give you specific scenarios that teachers might find themselves in regarding free speech. And there will be two options for each scenario. The teacher can be disciplined or cannot be disciplined. It can be one or the other or both if it kind of depends on the school district. All right, once you finish that Kahoot, you're going to go ahead and use that information to compare and contrast students' free speech to teachers' free speech rights. And you're going to go ahead and put your comparison right here in your current event report in the additional information section of the background box. So that is right here at the bottom. And you can go ahead and just add a bullet point for similarities, list out those similarities between students' free speech and teachers' free speech rights, and differences, where you would just list out the differences between student free speech rights and teacher free speech rights. All right, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Just a quick heads up, the Kahoot is right down here. The game pin is right here. Let me know if that game pin isn't working. I think that's pretty much it. Have a great day, guys.